So welcome back. Welcome.
What's up, dude?
You guys miss us. I can tell. I can tell just by the look in your
Nobody
face.
don't.
And by the way, you look great.
They're here for the women.
All of you look amazing.
They're not here for our ugly asses.
Yeah, I heard that. So welcome back to another episode of the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. It is your place for highbrow ideas and lowbrow packaging. I'm your host, Daniel Wagner.
Anthony Trewick.
And today we have a couple special guests, a frequent guest by the name of, David Mecey.
David Mecey.
Who has been so gracious as to keep joining us and bringing us these beautiful women for us to interview. And one of that beautiful woman today is
and he keeps bringing all these beautiful women to us. I'm gonna have to start calling him God.
We're gonna have to return the favor at some point, aren't we?
What can you actually live up to pay him back for this? I can't think of anything.
So today's guest, you may have already seen her in this month's episode, this month's issue of Mecé Magazine.
Yeah.
Miss Billie. We'll bring her in, and we'll bring David in as well. Welcome to the show, guys.
Howdy, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hi there.
All right. Fantastic. And I am ready to get this thing started. I'm so excited because that issue, or that's what do they call it? Pictorial? What do you call it? Pictorial?
Pictorial.
Is that what you call it, David?
You can call it a pictorial, sure.
Well,
Or a feature.
A feature? Okay. Well, we saw the feature and we're just thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, well, she's like a big deal feature, though. You have to call her the big deal feature.
Big deal feature. The BDF.
Yeah, this may be,
Wait a minute. Who are we talking about?
Billie.
Oh,
Billie?
we're not talking about.
I don't know if
it's not Anthony. Anthony's the big deal feature.
No. Yes.
So this may, this is kind of interesting because maybe I should have told you guys this before we started. But I don't know. Billie may not be quite resigned to the fact that she is my model in the middle for August. Look at her. She's like all
supporter of that too. I you and I had some conversations on the back end and through emails, and I was very much advocating for Billie to be the model in the middle, and so yeah.
Well, congratulations, young lady. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
So she looks fantastic. In fact, I have. Now she's going to flip out because this was supposed to be a surprise for her. I have something printed here at my house. Just for her. So
are we able to see what's printed, or?
Well, I could show it, but I mean, if I do, I have to kill you. No, I'm kidding.
Wait! I did not agree to this. I did not agree to this.
No, I don't. Can you show? Can I show that on your show?
If you have something to maybe cover up,
since this
features,
is a pre-record, I can edit it.
Yeah, he can edit it. Yeah, it's fine.
You can put bars.
Yes.
Oh, I can put bars all day. There's bars over the
apples, oranges, whatever you want.
We got bars to the left, bars to the right. Whatever it is. So while he's getting that, what we wanted to do today was to actually have Billie on we wanted you to discuss with you just a little bit more about your background, your history, what brought you to this particular. Oh wow. Dear. Hold up. Let's bring this one. No. Okay. So
hold it still.
If you haven't seen the model in the middle, good googly moogly.
And that's the one that you decided to go with her kind of tilting her head down, right?
Billie in all her glory.
I know. There she is.
Oh my goodness.
What do you think?
Me?
We can hear you now.
I love it so much. You are amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
You're the amazing one. Hello.
That was such a fun day.
Now, there were two different shots that David had sent to me. One was, of course, with her head tilted down, and the other one was kind of upward, kind of looking straight at the camera.
Yeah, I have that one too. Let's see if I can reach it out.
So I told him, I said, look, for me, it's the head tilted down. It kind of gives it that seductive look.
Here's the other one.
Yes.
I liked both, actually.
No, both are great, but I was more in favor of the other one.
I agree.
I enjoyed it.
So, okay, those are for you. That was the surprise.
Okay. You were keeping me in suspense, but I love it.
I know.
So
I was being a meanie.
You were.
So talk to us about that day. You said, Billie, it was so fun. What was it about that day that you remember?
It's just everything. I mean, it was so, first of all, David is amazing. Just makes you feel so comfortable and just guiding me how to pose. And I kept getting to get in the water while everybody else was hot, but made it kind of nice. So I don't know. It was just, that day was just so fun. I can't even.
So I've got to ask the obvious question. Your age, particularly, you don't really see 50-year-olds posing nude in a magazine. Is this something you've always wanted to do, or I mean, kind of where are you at with that? Like, was this something that you just kind of wanted to do and say, hey, you know what? I've never done this before. I want to do it. Or is it something you've always wanted to do? Kind of give us a background of how you ended up in this situation with David.
Well, so without going way back, David and I go way back.
Okay.
Because I did appear in Playboy once before.
Gotcha.
I never got to do centerfold or anything like that, just a pictorial. And I wanted to work with David. I knew who he was. I knew about him. I could hear him in the next room. It was really quite unfair. I really, really wanted to work with him. And then, years later, we talked on social media, and we got to talking about his magazine. He asked me if I could send him a couple pictures, and I did. And then he said, would you mind if we did this and it works out, would you mind being in the magazine? And I mean, that was best surprise ever. Yes, I loved it. So yeah, I've done this kind of thing before, but never with somebody like David.
But did you think at your age now that you would have that opportunity to do this?
Well, I kind of have two schools of thought on that. I really don't feel my age.
Good.
When I was younger, much younger as a kid, I thought 54 was ancient. I mean, you might as well just lay down already and give up.
Yeah.
But now I really feel like it's the new 34. I don't feel my age, if you will.
Okay, so I've got to throw this out there because I did it during the interview with Renee.
Okay.
And we have two absolutely stunning 50-year-olds that have now been in part of his magazine.
Mm-hmm.
I am still pushing for the two of them to both be in the same magazine at the same time. Is that something that maybe we might see?
Remember I told you that we might do a year in review.
Yeah.
That might possibly be where that happens. So,
that's a good idea.
Yeah. Like a year in review. Like in the old days, it was called the Playmate Review. Well,
right.
I may be doing something just a year in review for Mecé Magazine, and I've got to come up with something really special for it. So yeah, that could be one of those special items in that particular issue.
I think that would just, for me, in my opinion, I think that would really showcase and represent healthy living and lifestyle, to be able to look as good as they do at that age, and also give other women, something to maybe shoot for, to take care of themselves if they're in their 30s. And say, hey, I want to look this way when I'm in my 50s.
So it's kind of like a way to give women something to shoot for, but men also have something to shoot for. I see where you're going with this.
I see what you did there.
Okay.
Absolutely. And if you read the publisher's letter that is in every issue of Mecé, I talk about that I want the ladies that appear in the magazine to be more than just the physical presence there, but we want to know a little bit more about them, their background, who they are, their ambitions, and that sort of thing. And the fact that both of these ladies, Billie and Renee, are in their 50s, they have a lot to share with people. And the fact that they could still do this is absolutely awesome. And I want that to be an inspirational thing to women out there, that when they see these women doing this, are like, wow, can I look that good when I'm 50? Yes, if you take care of yourself. And that's what I'm hoping this will be, kind of like I said, an inspirational item for these people out there to want to do.
So speaking of like background stories and whatnot and inspirations, like can you tell us a little bit about about who Billie is. Like, how did you become who you are today to brush you to this very moment? Like, I know it's such a broad question. I'm sorry. But like, what are some of the key facts that you would kind of throw at people to get them a little insight into who Billie is?
Well, I'll just go with it right from the get-go. So I am a cancer survivor, and technically I probably shouldn't even be here right now. I had stage 4 throat cancer. And once I got through that, I just decided there's no more holding back. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to live life to the fullest and be as healthy as I can, and, you know, be an example for others if I can.
So this would be a good indication of the cancer that you had. Obviously, it's affected your vocals.
Yes.
Kind of give us, or, you know, just kind of paint the picture of how that went down and the processes that you had to go through to finally become cancer free. I mean, what was that journey like for you as a person?
You know, I'm not going to lie. It was probably the hardest thing I've been through. It was a very difficult treatment.
Right.
I had a total of 15 surgeries.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. And I had chemo and radiation simultaneously for about 9 weeks. I had radiation every day for 9 weeks, and chemo once a week for 9 weeks. And it was brutal. I'll never forget one time I talked to my radiation oncologist, and I literally sat down on the ground and just cried, and like a 2-year-old, and said, I'm done. I have to give up. I can't do this anymore. And then it hit me, and I said, you got to do this. You got kids. You got to get up and do this. So, you know, it wasn't easy, but I'm not going to lie. It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Now, you mentioned that you had kids. How many kids do you have?
I have 2. I have my son will be 27 this month, my older son, and my younger son is 21.
So what was life like for them, seeing their mother going through this? What was, I can only imagine that's hard for anybody, but
yeah.
What was it like for you and your family at that time?
Well, let me tell you, when I first was diagnosed, I didn't tell them. They were both so busy with their lives, and I didn't want to disrupt that. I started going through treatments without telling them. And then, things started to get obvious. You know, I started to not look well and feel well. And with the radiation, you get burns. So I had 3rd-degree burns all over my neck and, you know, lower face and chest.
Oh my gosh.
I had to say something.
Yeah.
And they knew I wasn't well. They knew I couldn't speak and that I was going through some sort of medical difficulties, but they didn't know what. So I finally just sat down and I said, you know, it's cancer. I'm going to be okay. We're going to fight, and I'm going to be okay. No matter what it takes. I may not be able to talk again because they told me I would probably never speak again. But I'm gonna be okay. And a lot of this was done via text because I couldn't speak.
Oh yeah.
So
wow.
How are you doing now? I mean, let me back that up. How long was this whole process for you? Was it a couple of years?
Oh, it was so after I was done with treatment, it takes a long time. What the radiation oncologist will tell you is that you still cook for a couple of months. So the radiation so you're still cooking. I was still burning for a couple of months. And then I did speech therapy for about 2.5 years to get the voice that I have today.
Now, is it still difficult to this day for you to talk for long periods of time, or how does that?
Yeah, I get kind of winded, and you know, early morning's better. I sound better in the first part of the day.
Right.
As I'm using the voice, I get a little weaker, and I just need to rest my voice. That's all it is. And
well, feel free at any point during this conversation if you feel like you need to take some water or, you know, pass it off to us. You know, we'll give you that break. But yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, going through cancer, losing your voice, and you know, your kids. I mean, how were they affected? What kind of give us some insight on how they kind of rallied around you?
You know, my older one, he was 16 or 17 at the time, and
right.
I was sitting in my recliner where I sat most of the time when I just didn't feel well. And he comes home one day with a car full of groceries. He just took it upon himself, and you know, I didn't ask him to do that, and he did that, and he would take his little brother to school and pick him up. And I mean, I couldn't ask for better kids. They are amazing young men.
He definitely
very,
stepped
very
up in a big way. Yeah.
I'm extremely lucky. They're very protective over me, and yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, I mean, I know that they had to grow up so quickly, but obviously, good reasons. But
Wow.
I just, man, that makes you feel good to know that your kids would go off and buy you groceries and take your little brother to school. And, I mean, I'm sure it probably kind of eased your heart a little bit knowing that at least they're being taken care of. They're taking care of each other while you're trying to get through this so you can get better to take care of them again,
Exactly. And while I was going through cancer treatment, my younger one, he had a stomach surgery when he was little and it failed. So we had to do a revision. So he had to have stomach surgery. And then towards the end of my treatment, very end of my treatment, my younger one was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So
good Lord.
We just kept getting slammed.
How's everything now? Is everybody okay? Is everybody trying to enjoy life a little bit at least?
We are doing amazing. My younger one, of course, he'll have diabetes for the rest of his life, but he's amazing. My older one is a military guy. He's getting ready to have his own baby in November. So it's all good.
Notice she didn't say, I'm going to be a grandma.
You know what? I can't do it. I just can't do it.
There's some stigma around that. I don't understand it.
It's been very interesting, but also educational. Just meeting the people that we have through David over the last couple of years. And, obviously I've only known David for the last few years. So I, haven't had the extent of time to get to know everybody that he does. But just in the short time that I have, everybody has always either had a positive reality or look on life. And they're just genuinely good people. And that really kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Showcases the kind of people that David surround himself with. I mean, everybody seems to be pretty upbeat no matter what they've gone through, and they're just happy and carefree. It's not to say that we don't have our problems, but on the surface, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's just about how people deal with those problems.
Well, going back to that, David kind of went through his own little situation a couple years back, and I remember reaching out to him, just asking him how he was doing. But for the most part, you are the company that you keep. And if you maintain that positive attitude and that positive outlook on life, you tend to draw in those kind of people. And that's the one thing that I've noticed that's been so consistent with the guests that we've had on is their positive outlook on life. And that is just always good to surround yourself with. It really is.
Yeah, well, for me, that's always been important throughout my life. Since I was a kid, I was very positive, influenced by my mom, who kind of instilled that into me. And so for me, I was always very ambitious. I wanted to succeed in whatever I was doing. So it was always that way. I was always looking ahead and wanting to achieve all these goals. And to do that, you have to maintain a positive attitude. Right. You can't be negative. You can't be questioning yourself. You have to really step up and do what's necessary to make it happen. And that's what I've always tried to do my entire life and throughout my career. And I think that is part of, if not the very reason, the people that I am around or that I attract, they're, I think in a way, impressed by it and want to be around me because of that, because they also have that same kind of vibrancy in life and they want to live it as much as me and enjoy it like I enjoy it. So that's, I think, part of it and what makes it happen.
I think that explains why we keep wanting to talk to him so much, because we're very similar that way. It's just
I mean,
all the time.
Every time we've had David on, it's always been a blast. It's,
even with my freeze frames.
But it's the truth. I mean, every time we do these, I step away from the lights and the cameras, and it's like you feel better. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That says a lot about.
I'm glad I did that. I'm really glad I did that. So Billy, while you're not prancing around naked in front of David, what do you actually do? What do you do? What's a normal day look like for you?
Yeah.
I just prance around naked.
Okay.
I love
Imagine
that.
the life you can live with that.
Oh, that is awesome.
Like how many times would that hashtag come up?
Prance around naked.
Naked prancing lady again. Good Lord. You're not going to believe what I saw in the Walgreens today. This lady just prancing around naked. She was getting a prescription for, like, I don't know, some hemorrhoid cream or something.
That might be why she's prancing around.
It's very awkward.
Oh my God.
So, what exactly do you do for work?
You're going to have to forgive my wild imagination. I go places, okay?
That is so funny. So I've always been in the medical and dental industry. And right now I'm currently, for the last 8 years, I think, been managing the back end of a med spa. So we do everything therapeutic, but we do a lot of Botox fillers, fat transfers, laser hair, stem cell treatments, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, wait, stem cell treatments?
So
okay.
It's basically, you've heard of PRP?
Yeah, I've heard of stem cell treatments, but I didn't know that was something you did, like, just at a spa. Or, like, is it a specific kind of spa?
Yeah.
Help me understand. I didn't know where that was done.
So we do a lot of, so for people that have thinning hair, we will inject PRP into their scalp, and it helps to rejuvenate the hair growth. It has to be done in multiple sessions. It can be done for skin texture, scarring, or, it can be used for so many things. Basically, wherever you put a stem cell, it will regrow that tissue or that area.
So you're like mad scientist.
Yeah.
Scientisting over here, right? Okay.
Wow,
and all done naked, of course.
While prancing, right?
All while prancing.
I gotta know, is there like some kind of like law or rule or like
a protocol to this
certification that says that in order to get your license to be a dental assistant, you must be a hot chick? Like, I don't know if am I the only one that's noticed this? Like every time I go get my teeth done, like all of the assistants are like hot.
That's true, Daniel. That's actually very true.
Is that like part of the requirements, or like
what is up with that? Yeah, I know.
You had to sign to.
It's funny that you say that. Not that I think I'm hot. That's not what I'm saying. But the first
you know you are. Don't even
be all bashful.
Don't even. We know better.
The first when I did Playboy, it was for a dental pictorial.
Oh wow!
Yeah, well, it's funny because she sent me that picture, and I'm like, "Well, that's interesting."
That's funny. Holy crap!
So yeah. So that's my everyday.
That conversation just went completely.
I know. Everything just yeah. Look, you never know what you're gonna get, and hold on, so that's going to conclude part 1 of this interview. If you want to catch part 2, it's going to be coming out here in a couple weeks.
It's going to be juicy.
It's going to be juicy, so good. So just stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe and click that notification bell and come on back next couple weeks. And
next couple of weeks,
we'll see part 2. All right.